If you're gonna kneel during your football game,
don't kneel.
Don't
respect the flag.
Respect it.
You know what I hate? You see people sometimes, and they'll desecrate the flag. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that? Like they don't respect the flag. They'll like put markings on the flag. They'll like put text over a flag. Right. They'll change the colors of the flag. And I'm like, that's the American flag. You never ever do anything to desecrate the American flag ever. This is another good one. You have the text going right over the flag there, and it looks nice. And then there's like it's splattering. That's cool.
It is though, yeah. And
little help.
Oh jeez. This guy. Respect the flag.
Respect it.
So that is a clip of the Good Liars, who for some time have been my window into what the MAGA world is thinking, how they're thinking, where they clearly are not thinking. And I've enjoyed the videos for some time. And I thought, I want to find out a bit about how this works, how the Good Liars do what they do. And so we're very lucky to be joined on the show by Jason Selvig. Welcome, Jason. And Davram Stiefler, glad to have you here as well. Thank you to both of you for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Tom.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So that was obviously hilarious. So you guys have been doing political comedy in a variety of forms for some time. Most recently, you've produced a lot of videos that have gone very viral of you interacting with Trump supporters. How did you get into this sort of work?
Well, we actually met and started doing comedy together 10 years ago during Occupy Wall Street. We noticed that like investment bankers weren't saying anything about the protests really. So we dressed up like investment bankers in cheap suits and created the Occupy Wall Street movement, where we said ridiculous things like, if you guys keep doing this, we're gonna have to kick our cocaine habit or sell our 6th house. And people thought it was real, and real investment bankers came and joined the protest with us. And we were like, okay, we both either like have something in our brain where we don't, I don't know if it's just a lack of shame, Davram, or if it's a lack of fear or something like that. But we both felt like, oh, we can put ourselves in these situations, and it's kind of evolved since then into kind of what you see now.
Yeah, the 2016 election, I think, is when it took kind of a turn into consistently a little more political as Trump was gaining momentum. We were going to these things. It was such an interesting thing. And so many, for lack of a better word, fascinating people were getting wrapped up in these rallies. So we started showing up to those, and that has continued, I guess, as Trumpism hasn't gone anywhere.
Regrettably, it hasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's descended a bit. It's spiraled a bit. But one thing that maybe seems a bit consistent between your current work and Occupy Wall Street is you're both very skilled at playing it so straight that they don't necessarily know exactly where you're coming from. And you've now interacted, obviously, with a lot of Trump supporters. Have you found, especially as your videos have become, really popular, is it becoming a little bit more difficult to get them to engage with you without giving it away? How does that sort of go down?
We do get recognized occasionally at Trump rallies, but we were talking about this the other day. It's kind of crazy. The people that recognize us are actually fans of us, and they come up and say that they love the videos. Generally, it's younger people, but they're there for the Trump rally, and it really hasn't affected how we've going about the interviews with some of the people that we put up there. But some people will come up and like give us a high five, which we were not expecting to have happen.
And I also think we try and approach it like, the truth, which is that we're interested in what these people are going to say. And once you're there and you're talking to someone, like there's no reason to really break character, and we want to find out what they think and where they're going with it. So I think we try and bring a genuine interest to what people are going to say and where the conversations might go. So, I don't necessarily feel like we're pulling one over on anyone. Really, we're talking to people, and we want to be there talking to people. So,
have there been any negative interactions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What have those looked like?
There's been a couple where people have been angry with us. Occasionally we'll get recognized. I sometimes when an interview finishes, their people are like, well, wait a second, what is this? Especially like this last one, we've got a video we're going to put out where it was with actually a candidate for governor. And we kind of just like got out of there as fast as we could because he said some pretty embarrassing things. And I think we're going to put that out tomorrow. I'm not sure. But so there have been a couple hairy situations, but nothing super scary except for January 6th, which was very scary, where we got surrounded by a bunch of Trump supporters who said we're part of the media. And luckily, a flashbang went off right in the middle of that, and everyone turned around and thought that maybe there was like gunfire, and we got out of there about as fast as we could. So that was a real kind of scary situation for us.
Geez, yeah, it suddenly makes it a lot more real. And you guys you're doing comedy, but you're doing it with a movement that there have been incidents of violence, not just on January 6th. Many people are wondering, in the next presidential election, are we going to have a renewal of that? So definitely stay safe. I want you guys to be okay when you're out there.
Try.
So in these interactions, you've had as you say, you're showing genuine interest. You're trying to actually find out how these people think. Have there been things that you've learned about individuals or the movement that people who haven't done as much interaction, like I've covered a few rallies on the ground, but not a ton, that I might have misconceptions about the movement?
I'm not sure what everyone's conceptions are, but I think we are surprised at how many people think JFK Jr. is still alive and is maybe the acting vice president. It's not the majority of people by any stretch, but it's definitely more like 20% than it is 5%. So like if you get people talking, some of the conspiracy theories really are. I don't want to say mainstream, but closer to mainstream than maybe we'd all care to believe. And then every once in a while, it is rare. People are kind of more open-minded than you might think and are there and haven't necessarily decided that they're going to follow what they're being told about every single issue. So those are kind of refreshing moments. Jason, you asked someone if they were pro-choice, I think, at a rally. I forget what the lead up to it was, but you just would never have thought this guy was going to say, yeah, absolutely, people should absolutely be allowed to do what they want with their own bodies. And we're like, oh,
yeah. He was like, hey, it's a woman's body. She can do whatever she wants with her body. Who am I to say? And I was like, oh my gosh. Then maybe the next breath he was like, the election was stolen. And I was like, okay, we had a nice moment of connection there.
Exactly. And this is something that I've wondered about, the nature of belief. Like, we know when you poll people, you can get a non-zero percentage of the country to agree to any crazy thing. And you never know for sure if they actually mean it or if they're just trying to express something about themselves, but it's not really a belief. You hear people say a lot of things that some might define as crazy. Is your perception that generally these are honest expressions of what they believe? Do you ever get the feeling that this is people they're part of a movement, they're part of a group, there are things you're supposed to believe, or is this genuine? They believe the stuff about QAnon or the big lie or whatever it is?
I think sorry, Davram, go ahead.
Well, I just think maybe it starts off as a sense of community. Like you said, people are part of a larger group. They feel like they're supposed to believe these things, but at some point it becomes real. And the majority of people who want to be talking about this, I would say by the end of whatever interview we conduct, I'm reasonably sure that they believe this stuff to be true and it's not a part they're playing. And they, oftentimes are offering up a lot more information than you're asking for. So I think they enthusiastically believe it, and it's, as I said, a higher percentage than you would care to believe.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I feel like there's it's an interesting. It's a sample section. It's like who's going to go to a Trump rally? There's that's a percentage of the population right there, but I do think. The QAnon belief, the people that are involved in that now, I think that they have, it's like a whole new reality that they've created, and especially the people that are deep in it, that think like Donald Trump is still the acting president right now. Like that's not something that you can kind of believe kind of half-heartedly. Like you either believe that or you don't.
Well, it was incredible. Jason spoke to someone who had a Trump JFK Jr. 2021 shirt on at this rally. So they believe this and then they missed their year, but they're still fully committed to it. So it was, the explanation was kind of shrug it off. We may have had the date wrong, but that's fine. It's going to happen this year. So, they made that shirt themselves too. So they had to go through the effort to make the shirt to wear it, and it's well into 2022, and they're still feeling gung ho about their chances.
It was more the fact that they wore it again that got me. It was like, you could have worn any shirt. You didn't have to wear the 2021 shirt.
Yeah.
You missed the day.
Or if you love the shirt that much, update the shirt, man.
Exactly.
You can make it.
Yeah.
If you can make one shirt, you can make another. One final quick question, and this just you interact with a lot of them, so I'm curious what you've picked up. Obviously, these are Trump fans. They're going to a Trump rally. They like Trump. Have you gotten an impression for if Trump, for some reason, health or whatever, doesn't end up going? Is there a name that often crops up as someone who this movement might naturally move towards, or a significant chunk might naturally move towards, other than Trump?
DeSantis. I would say it's like 90% DeSantis, and also the other part of it is that like some of the people don't want Trump to run at
really?
all, which was surprising to us. I'm not going to say that's like a majority of the people. A lot of the people are there, they love Trump, but I think maybe like 5% of the people, the last couple of rallies, Davram, that they said maybe Trump isn't the guy. He's too divisive.
Yeah,
I thought was
that has come up a few times, and then DeSantis's name usually comes up, and then a lot of times we'll offer up Ted Cruz, and I would say about 75% of those times the reaction to Ted Cruz is pretty negative, which is very fun. People are like,
that is hilarious and well earned.
That's across the line. We're not going in the Ted Cruz camp.
Awesome. Want to thank both of you again for joining me. It's great to get a chance to get to know you and your process a little bit better. But where can people consume your content? Where can they see The Good Liars?
Well, we're at The Good Liars on Twitter and TikTok, TGLNYC on Instagram, and on YouTube it's /Good Liars. And you can also support our Patreon. We've got exclusive content and a whole new movie from 2016 you can watch on our Patreon too.
Awesome. Thank you to both of you. Have a good one.
Thanks for having us, John.
Thanks for having us.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.